First tonight at 6, a dangerous and illegal tooth trend is prompting dental professionals to send a dire warning.
Yeah, not to ruin your smile, but it involves unlicensed veneer techs offering patients a new smile only for the veneers to fall out in a matter of days.
As Queen City News anchor Derek Dellinger found out, Charlotte dentists say it is something that they're working to address.
I hate to say it, but I thought it was kind of a joke at first.
Doctors Eric Davis and Grant Tesmer are with Ballantyne Dentistry, and when we told them about the story that we were working on, it seemed oddly familiar to them.
I don't know if there's been any currently in Charlotte, but I mean,
saw one.
Yeah, I mean, if Dr. Davis has, then it might.
Stories about bad dental work being done, stories like this one, detailing people who call themselves veneer technicians, unlicensed and doing work that bluntly winds up messing up with someone's teeth permanently. Basically, in the era of looking perfect, people have sought sometimes desperate measures.
Do you think this is kind of like the Botoxification of dental work? Because we see how casual Botox is done these days.
Good question. I would hope not.
Deborah Engelhart Nash is a dental consultant and trains dentists on specific work on things such as veneers. She says those stories are not far-fetched. There are stories online, and then there are the calls she's gotten from those looking to perform the work.
It's interesting, and it's probably happened about half a dozen times within the last year. I ask, where they're calling from, and if they're, and they seem to not indicate that they're a practicing dentist. And so then I say, well, do you have a license to practice dentistry? And they say no.
The American Dental Association issued a statement just this week about those supposed veneer technicians, and they note the regulations that dentists are under, but they also say that any dental procedure that may alter the physical structure of an individual's teeth, gums, or jaws without the supervision of a dentist has the potential to cause irreversible harm. Practicing without a license can also be a felony in North Carolina.
They take no x-rays. They are not trained.
Those we spoke with noted that all that has to be taken into consideration. What if there's a cavity or an issue with a tooth? What if there is an emergency during the procedure? That could lead to things being worse.
This is not like putting a false fingernail on a finger. This is not, an acrylic nail. This is not like an acrylic nail or a Lee's press-on. This is we're cutting away tooth structure. They won't come back.
All right, so the people that are opting to have this done might be doing it to save money, but talk to us about the legal recourse that can take place if things go wrong.
Well, I've been looking into the stories that actually go into that as far as any legal recourse they have. In most of these circumstances, people are also signing liability waivers. So if they have that, if they want to have that legal recourse, they can. In addition to that, you also have to take into fact too, if people do get these procedures done, there will be some dentists or orthodontists that will opt basically not to operate on it because they don't know the work that was done.
Yeah, we've seen this kind of thing that happen not just with dental work, with other type of cosmetic procedures that really go wrong, and you got to really do your research first.
This one is permanent. If you get it's bone we're talking about.
All right, Derek, thanks. Good story.